if you're in software development or SRE or DevOps or touching code, chances are you're going to be dealing with multiple repositories. And let's be honest, I know it's an absolute nightmare to update across multiple repositories. So what do? We kind of procrastinate and we don't do it, and we'll do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow becomes next week, and until we have to do it. In this video, I'm going to show you a little tool that I've just found that I promise will save you a lot of heartache to update across multiple repositories. Honestly, it saved me so much time, and I promise if you watch the end of this video, you'll thank me for it. So here's the scenario. We have many repos and we need to update them, whether it's update a version or to update some text in a README file, whatever the case may be. And we need to do that across not just one repo, because that's easy, but we need to do it across 2 repos or 10 or 100 repos. That becomes a lot more difficult. Let's see how we do that. Now, the trick to this is to make your change, whatever you want to change, work across a single repository, and then we'll scale that out automatically. So let's take this, for example, this README file. Let's imagine our boss comes to us and says, you know what, we need to add some sort of support disclaimer or support policy to the top of this repo. So, for example, here. Okay, no problem on one, we can just do that and commit it. Now we've got 100 repos though, so how do we do that? The trick is to get it working with one. So pick your language. This is where this tool comes into its own, because you get to pick your language. So I'm going to choose Python. You can use Bash, you can use Shell, PowerShell, whatever. It doesn't matter, okay? But let's get this working across one. So I'm going to open my README in read-only mode, and I'm going to read the lines. Then I'm going to insert a line, a multi-line string that says support policy, we only offer this kind of support ABC. For anything else, speak to us. Then I'm going to write that file. Let's cross our fingers, run our script, and see if this works. Perfect. It's working as I intended it. Okay. Now we've got the script we're going to run. Let's get it all set up to do multiple repositories anywhere, as many as you like. So step 1 is to install multi-Gitter. Now I've done it with Homebrew, but the repository, links are in the video description below, offers binaries for all the different operating systems. Make sure you can run, obviously, multi-Gitter --help, and you should get some sort of output there. Perfect. Next thing you're going to need is a GitHub token. So head on over to GitHub, go to your developer settings, and go to personal access tokens, and then fine-grained access tokens, and generate a new token. Call it whatever you like. I'm going to call mine multi-Gitter video. I'm going to give it an expiration date. You don't have to. Probably should. And then I am going to, just for this demo, make sure that it's scoped to only the 2 test repositories that I care about. Again, you get to pick. If you want to select all of your repositories, that's fine as well. So these are my 2 repositories here, mgtest1 and mgtest2. They're exactly the same. Okay. Now my permissions. Add permissions. We need permissions to the contents of the repo, and we need permissions to the pull requests. Now, I'll explain later why I need read and write. You don't necessarily need read and write for both of these. I'll explain as we go, but for now, set these to read and write for contents and read and write pull requests. Then generate token. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code and let's start building the command. So it's multi-Gitter space run, and then in quotes, put your script. Now I've obviously got Python. If you've got a Bash script or a PowerShell, whatever, that goes next. And then a commit message, --commit -message, and then you get a choice. Either you specify the repos. So here I've got my username / my first repo, and then you just repeat the repo command for the second repo, and then --token is your GitHub token, of course. Let me just put that in there. the other thing you can do, if you don't want to use or hard code the repos, you can use topics. So for example, if we look at both of my repos are tagged, GitHub calls them topics, but they're tagged with mg test. So I can scope my request, and multi-Gitter will use the GitHub API to actually go and find all of my repos that are tagged with mg test. So it's a nice way to scale out. But we can do that by saying username is agardnerit and the topic is mg test. Either one will work. That's entirely up to you. So the next thing I want to add into here is the dry run flag. I don't want to make any changes yet. I just want to see what is actually going to happen, what multi-Gitter thinks or what it will do. So let's run that. And you can see it's running on 2 repositories that it's found. Great, it's cloning and running the scripts. So it pulls down the repositories for you, and it's obviously not pushing any changes because we are in dry run mode. So let's get rid now of the dry run command, and let's see what happens. So running on 2 repositories as we saw before, but this time we're actually creating the pull requests in each of the repositories, and of course it's going to warn me to say this new branch already exists. So what it does behind the scenes, it creates a new branch. You can control the name of that with a flag as well, but I've obviously been running this as a test. So if I refresh this, I should get 2 new pull requests, 1 in each. There's one in mgtest1 and one in mgtest2, and you'll notice the pull request has the name of the commit that I said. That explains why we needed read and write pull request permissions. I'm going to close both of these pull requests just to demonstrate something else, because if you're working on repositories on your own, it doesn't make any sense to open pull requests just for yourself to merge them, and that's supported as well. You can merge directly to main. So I'll close both of these. And now I can say --skip PR. And what this is going to do is skip the pull request, as you might have guessed, and push the changes straight to the main branch on remote. So now if I refresh, ta-da, it's that simple. So there you go. In summary, get your test script, whether it's Bash or PowerShell or Python or whatever you like to code in, get that working for one kind of dummy file that would work in one repository, and then just use multi-Gitter to blast out those changes across all of your repositories. It saved me an absolute ton of time in my repositories, and I hope it saves you some time. Enjoy, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye.